All right, let's try to go Catalan. I'm gonna be experimenting a little bit with the Catalan. I have been making some videos for low elo, but now going to play it on the somewhat higher rated account. So yeah, just trying to play c4, get the fianchetto with the castle going, but my opponent goes c5. Now, the main move is to just go for the push and enter the Benoni structures. But I'm just gonna be going for knight to f3, trying to keep it more in thematic Catalan territory. Although, of course, my opponent does get a bunch of extra options, like e5, knight b5, and then d5 is an interesting gambit that becomes a possibility for my opponent. But when they go d6, that actually just gives us a pretty harmonious version of the hedgehog structure, which is going to be, let's say, one of your closest friends when you're playing the Catalan. So not only that you learn a new opening, but you might also leave this video with a new friend. So what kind of chess YouTuber gives you that? I don't think that's a thing. I think that's happening only on the Alex Bonanza channel. Okay. Pawn castles. Gonna go knight c3, so just making the natural moves so far. And now, this is quite a topical position that you can get. So, black has a choice. Pretty much all the moves are gonna lead to unpleasant position due to his inaccurate move order. But in particular, knight c6, in my opinion, is best shot for black. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and then rook b8. The lines should lead to full compensation if you analyze deeply. But black has to know how to generate play for the pawn. But when they do go e6, this doesn't really come up with a threat. Plus, the problem that he's experiencing is that the light square bishop, it's very difficult to develop. So cannot go anywhere because has to babysit the pawn. And cannot push b5 because of the pin. So a6, don't think a great move. How do we play against it? In the Catalan in general, you do get a harmonious setup by just going for the double fianchetto. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And you have to understand that the way we play these structures, it's going to be lots of foreplay, lots of build-up. So not going to be getting a quick attack, but at least we are super safe in general. And any type of aggression that low elo players might try, like let's say e5 move, would be thematic low elo aggression, in my opinion, can easily lead to strategic ruins because you can just move the knight back. I would choose c2, reroute to d5 potentially in the future. But let's say you retreat, and then with dz5, not only that the d5 square has been weakened, but also the pawn on d6 would be a big target because it won't be protected by a pawn anymore and it's placed on an open file. Opponent does go queen c7, which is super logical. He is intending to play knight c6 without losing a pawn. I think we can continue with the same bishop b2. And he will solve one of the problems. But the position does remain quite unpleasant in this hedgehog structure. So, okay, here we see e6 move, which is aimed to stop my knight from jumping into the center, but as I mentioned a little bit earlier, whenever you push the pawn, the d6 guy is gonna be a long-term target. So I can start queen d2, rook fd1, try to put pressure on it, but even nicer in these structures in general is to get the duel on the distance with the enemy queen as soon as possible. You will see that my opponent's probably about to forget of my nice trick. I'm preparing to actually meet knight c6 with a cool move, which you can try to find by pausing the video. Due to duel on the distance, knight d5 becomes possible, and then take with a pawn. It's a very nice little positional trick that we have. Okay, queen d2, rook fd1. I can just make these moves, and gonna be difficult for my opponent to develop. He's certainly going knight c6, and just need to do some last minute calculation. So knight d5, pawn takes, pawn takes. If he tries to unpin with queen a5, taking advantage of my unprotected queen, I have bishop c3 intermezzo, and then I'm taking on c6. So I believe that, yes, we can just go for knight d5. And it's not really a sacrifice. It is just a powerful move that is gonna induce some sort of weakness in the enemy camp, or at least it's gonna make the weakness more obvious. Because ed cd, we're gonna get clear target on open file. Plus, in case my opponent retreats with the trades, the pawn on d6 will be left without a defender. So, as I said in the beginning, right when opponent played this move, made the d6 pawn no longer protected by a pawn. So, had it on the radar that can be a target, but remember this trick. It's due to this move that without knowing the theory in these positions, black never manages to develop. It's simply super difficult once you get into this structure where you cannot move the knight, you cannot move bishop. I mean, you can do this, but the guy is still bad. So if you try to do the natural thing like he just did, knight d5, FBI open up for the weak pawn on c6. Give me that weakness. I am really hoping to get that pawn weakness. Let's see. Okay, opponent has many ways to capture. This one, of course, main candidate. Now threatening to regain the piece, and okay, maybe not so many alternatives when I just placed the knight, but in this position, he can choose between a few things. Critical to see beforehand was queen a5 that I have bishop c3. Otherwise, it can get a bit complicated. But other than that, knight d5, I take with bishop. And it's even pawns, but he has isolated pawn on the open file. Rook e8. Now I can take on c6, which is the natural thing. I can also consider ways to increase the pressure if necessary. Probably not necessary, as takes and then knight capture comes with a big threat of knight e7, and his queen is in trouble. So just gonna play the simple move, no need to complicate it. And okay, question: do you take with the bishop or with the knight? Because looking at these may be difficult to make up your mind, but in my opinion, you can just make this decision based on general chess logic. So if you look at it, say I take with a knight on c6, I've got a bishop that is pressuring all over the long diagonal. While this guy on d7 really not doing that much. Sure, it's fighting for these squares, but there are no targets. So because my bishop on g2 is more active, giving my opponent the trade for free feels unnecessary. So I don't even waste much time calculating this. And it's gonna be the right thinking process in most positions, I feel like. So I just take with the knight instead. If bishop takes, I take with rook. Or I could actually go for the fork as well, now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, I just paused there to explain that most of the times these decisions that look like a 50-50 are actually very easy to make if you follow general chess logic, which is what I've been spending a lot of my time researching recently. So, okay, 94. 94. So targeting the queen, but I do believe that this comes with a concrete drawback. So I'll let you guys pause the video and find the sequence that is gonna send our opponent to sleep. Oh, he just resigned. He didn't even wait it. Yeah, so for those of you that paused, the point was, first I need to solve this issue, and then I can exploit duel on the distance with a little discovery check. So, yeah, we actually managed, even in these chill videos, to get a pretty nice idea. Knight d5, exploiting duel on the distance, showcasing a nice little positional trap. So, yeah, what can I say? I hope you guys liked this little Catalan game, and let's see what interesting opening are we gonna be experimenting with in the next one. All right, we actually managed to get the double white game. Let's give the Catalan another shot against 2200 elo opponent that goes for the Queen's Gambit. Accepted. Interesting. And then a6. Wow. Right. I'm actually slightly out of book already when a6 happens. Guess some b5 is getting ready for. But let's try to play it in the Catalan way. It's gonna be difficult to be worse playing it Catalan way, even if you don't know anything. So that's what we're gonna try. And I'm not sure about combining bishop f5 with a6 move for my opponent. If you play a6, gives me hint of b5. I'd be tempted to believe you're trying to put bishop on b7. So I could be wrong with that, but feels slightly off. I'm wondering, can I just go knight c3 or knight bd2? Knight bd2 would be the move that I would normally play, try to recapture on c4. Knight bd2, b5 will be the answer. Then can I go knight h4, pressuring the rook, forcing c6 more or less. I'm gonna have knight takes on f5, pawn takes, e3. I do have bishop here and I do have b3 incoming. I think I'm gonna play it easy. Yes, I'm not gonna try to think too much, reinvent the wheel here. Point is just to play typical Catalanesque moves and try to get an interesting game. I wasn't going for knight e5 because I felt like maybe bishop e4 idea is a bit annoying, although maybe it was possible. Just wanted to go for this knight bd2 since I don't see comfortable way for my opponent to protect other than b5. Queen d5 will run into knight e5, knight h4 ideas. Maybe other moves as well. But yes, b5 is natural. And knight e5 shouldn't be so strong because of rook a7, I'd imagine. Maybe it's also possible to play pawn to c6 and then knight takes c6, queen b6. And white doesn't have a winning discovery. But I was going after the bishop. So if we get bishop pair, and then I get to force my opponent take on b3, I'm gonna be super happy camper, generally speaking. There is queen d4, needs to be addressed. So I cannot do b3 immediately because of that. Or maybe can I? Can I make it? Nah, probably. Probably just doesn't work like that. So I just need to do it simple, and I felt okay going into this position because my opponent is not threatening to do an immediate c5, although could be wrong. I could be underestimating the strength of knight d5 move to happen. Yeah, I need to be a little bit precise. I have a feeling. Queen c2, queen d4, queen f5. The position slightly opens up, which I imagine should help ourselves because of the bishop pair. And queen c2, maybe my opponent just plays g6, but then I could perhaps get away with b3. Yes, okay, so I'm gonna play it this way. I feel like taking is a bit risky for my opponent. Maybe possible. Just feels like black is somewhat underdeveloped, and without the pair of bishops, risky to go pawn hunting. Otherwise, if I play d3, not sure I would have had enough time to get the ideal setup. Ideal setup would be, if allowed, let's say g6, b3 takes, ab, bishop d6, e3, castle, and then some bishop a3. And I would love to play those kind of positions. I mean, probably I'm blundering like a free pawn on c6 or something, but I'm just trying to teach you like idea-based what I have in mind. But of course, my opponent tries to call my bluff, which is a respectable decision. Queen takes d4. I do have rook d1. I do have also the simple queen takes on f5, which I think we have to go. I am down a pawn, but the pawns are doubled. There is queen c8 knocking at the door. I do have a feeling that queen c8 should be really strong. I'm not sure you're supposed to allow that. I mean, only move is queen back. Otherwise, if bishop d8, queen b7 picks up the lonely rook, and queen c8, queen d8. I have queen b7, knight d7. There is bishop takes on c6, rook b8, queen takes on e6. I will be up a pawn. That has to be good. Okay, do I have anything better? So this is probably gonna be played. Take on c6 twice, knight d7. I could go rook d1 in that position. This doesn't feel right for my opponent. Yes, now I have to be good here. Queen c8, and maybe this move, but perhaps even easier to just take right away. Taking right away, inaccurate because of king f8. King f8 is strong in that position, and I don't have such an easy follow-up. So now, trade of queens. Unnecessary. I think the play is queen b7 and win on c6. Knight has to move. Okay, my opponent pre-moved. I almost missed it. Happened so quickly. So there is forcing move, bishop c6. There's also forcing move, queen takes. Yes, probably queen takes and then queen takes a6. I don't like bishop move because of rook b8, and then my bishop and queen are misplaced. But if we just grab like this, rook b8 no longer comes with a tempo, and rook c8 I take with a tempo. And yes, castling allows easy endgame win. Extra exchange should be, yeah, now I even get a4, easy conversion. I don't even have to develop c1 bishop when my rook already gets active. If opponent tries to block, another pawn is lost. So situation's getting rather dramatic here. Oh, I get free trade of rooks, which is gonna make endgame even nicer. And okay, how do I untangle my pieces? Does any one of you know the answer? How do we untangle in pieces? So there is knight f3. There is b3 move, but b3 allows c3 and then b4. So that's why I cannot go for it quite yet. Probably I just need to do knight f3, bishop d2, and infiltrate along the a file. So that's what I'm gonna do. Knight b1 with idea, knight a3. It's a little bit too subtle for my taste. Yeah, I'm not the best player conversion-wise, but I'm also not the worst. So you give me like an hour on the clock, maybe I'll find something precise, but we have to make some common sense moves here. Maybe knight d4. Knight d4 trying to create some weakness. b4, knight c6 is a double attack, but bishop f8. Bishop f8, bishop d2. How's that going? Okay, this has to be improvement for us. I'm gonna go for knight d4, knight c6. Got targets, got bishop d2 incoming. Might generate some trades. Also interesting to play bishop e3 just to force trades, allowing temporarily damage structure, but maybe I can win some queenside pawns. Can I just keep it cleaner though? Bishop d2. Yes, I think we just keep it very simple if we can. b3 looks like the pawns are scary, but should be able to stop them. I'll have rook c1. Eyeballing c4. In case of knight e4, I will have bishop e1. Now, when the knight to d5 happens, I just target c4. I think that's how we do it. Am I missing anything? There is rook a1 trying to come from behind. Rook c1, most natural move to hit the weak pawn. Just need to double check knight e4 and bishop e1. Opponent can play c3, bc, knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, but now we should be able to stop these pawns easily. Just opponent's doing a good job putting pressure on my clock. Okay, so c3. This is what I had in mind myself too. I think I have to take, maybe possible to wait, but taking cannot be bad. In case of that move, I have at least king f1 to protect. Maybe it's also my best move, not the least move. I will be having tactics soon. It looks like black is very active, but these pieces are not on permanent squares, so king f1, f3 already is an idea to try to get rid of this knight. Of course, want to watch out for tricks, but should have enough to get rid of this fake activity. Okay, just king f1. Knight a2, I take. b3, bishop c3. Should be working. Okay, so king f8. Already time to consider knight b4 tricks. Knight b4, bishop takes. e4. Wait, does this work? Knight takes, bishop takes. I have fork. No, I don't have the fork because of knight e2. What am I saying? Wait, does e4 work? I don't have time to calculate it. Bishop c3, knight takes. I don't have time to calculate. It feels like the right move. Okay, maybe do I just have rook c4? Oh no, this is simple move. What am I doing? I'm just calculating simple move. I forgot knight d6, rook c5. 14 seconds left. Totally. Okay. Pity I don't get to show rook against knight 3v3 conversion. But maybe who knows, 9 seconds, it's a lot of time. Not a lot of time. I have to do some intuitive pre-moves. Should be technical win territory, at least now when the knight is getting dominated. I will have opportunity to sacrifice rook for the knight with winning endgame. It's usually how it goes. Trying to put my king in a way that the knight cannot check. Looks like opponent getting into Zugzwang pretty soon. Okay, I'm getting to the pawn and threatening mate. 4 seconds though. Oh, I got lucky with mate. Okay, it was easy win anyways. All right, everybody, we're getting ourselves an interesting opponent, a Greek opponent, 2200 elo, and we're gonna try one of the upcoming weapons on the channel, which is not really Scandinavian defense in general, but the Queen D8 Scandi with the Hikaru system. So I've already recorded a video for low elo, I just haven't posted it yet. And the nice thing about this opening is that you can play it almost all the time against e4, and it really just works step by step, plug and play pretty much. So you want to get short castled, and then you do want to play for the double fianchetto. So this is how light square bishop develops, and the knight goes to c6. Then you maneuver e6, knight e7, knight f5 is the plan. You just need to be a little bit careful with the move order, so to speak. And how Hikaru does it, start knight c6, and on d5, knight a5 is a great move when it comes with the tempo against bishop c4. Actually, yesterday I had a pretty nice win. My opponent played bishop e2. I just went c6, dc, knight takes. I got a very harmless opening against someone 2600 on lichess. Now, bishop e3, what Hikaru would do is probably e6. This is how he played in his pre-pandemic games. He used this system quite a lot online against strong players. Now dropped it, but I think it's still very interesting. Problem with b6, I think white gets a slightly improved version of knight e5. From what I've looked at with the computer, this can be unpleasant. So we start e6 and then do these moves. Opening is finished. Then we just maneuver the knight. And one nice little idea, in case opponent goes d5, perhaps we can trade everything and pick up on b2. But another move, knight a5, can be pretty strong. Also happens in Caro-Kann Panov variation. It's a nice trick. Then you get free pawn. But when it happens this way, we don't care about bishop h6. It's just wasting time with that move. Sure, our fianchetto bishop is precious, but I wouldn't waste the time to just keep. I'm okay with the trade. And now we start the maneuver. There is this move. we can try to unpin because there's gonna be knight d4, but yeah, we only play h6 normally when it's not sacrificing, let's say, so can just put knight on e7, creating positional threat of bishop takes on f3. And this is what a lot of your games are actually gonna look like if you play this Scandi. So got double fianchetto, got pawn on e6, got the knight maneuver, knight is going to f5, threatening to win pawn. Now also threatening to play h6 without a sacrifice because knight moved backwards. Yeah, I think I'm just playing h6. h6, bishop f4, and then g5 is interesting. Would be Hikaru style play. Can also just play simple, queen e7, rook d8. Then look at c5 push. Am I ever worried of g4? I don't think so. I'd like to break the pin though. Breaking the pin. It feels so freeing. Can we free ourselves? Break that nasty, ugly, dirty pin. Yeah. You'll have to live with some stress. You don't want to play chess and just your goal to play completely stress-free. You might end up making bad moves. Okay, now if I do play rook fd8 though, I have to watch out for a threat. So you guys can try to pause the video and think about a white move that could potentially be winning if you're careless. Because knight f7, quite scary. Although maybe you can take with king and bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, king takes. We're getting a lot of pieces for the queen. So maybe rook fd8 is not bad. However, for safety measures, rook a8, c5. So just keep rook covering that against his only trick in the position. So yeah, I'll just play rook a8. Still looking at this move, considering c5. So he plays knight e2, protecting. I was, after all, threatening to take. So my opponent defends. Okay, I have c5, and after c3, take. He will have isolated pawn, which will be a target. I think we go for that. I'm not playing h6 because I don't see how that is going to help. So I'm just inflicting him a pawn weakness. Now, just you witness how the weakness was created, and okay, time to break the pin. Now that I've already fulfilled all my effective moves on the queen side and on bishop f4, I will suddenly have ideas to go knight e4. Now, because I'm no longer pinned, could start using the knight for some activity. Surprising good move in general. Maybe knight h4 even. So knight h4, not so simple to defend. He will have knight f4. Okay, you want to be careful with that because pawn needs some babysitting. My feeling is that just need to play knight e4 or knight d5 to improve knight. This is last piece that can be improved. Knight e4 is a tempo, knight d5 applies pressure on his pawn structure. Okay, let's play tempo move. Cannot be too bad to go for a tempo move. And then looking at, okay, queen c1. So keys on queen c2, there is this pinning idea. There is also idea to take on e3 and then take on e5. An opponent would have had double isolated pawns. At queen g5 there, queen c5 also. So queen c1, still trying to keep the queen recapture. Now, this makes me wonder, can we do it and then just maneuver? Play knight d6 with idea to put the other knight on f5. Or is this too slow? Can also take the time and play rook c8. Yes, rook c8 has to be best move. Because I'm threatening all sorts of stuff. With takes and bishop is hanging. Also there is b5 knocking at the door. So just improved position of the rook since on the d file it was good. It was exerting pressure, but it didn't have concrete threat. Plus other rook now has room to come to d8 without worrying about knight f7 anymore. And yes, a4, I'm already looking for some forced win. Knight takes on e3 just to inflict the weakness should do the job. Queen takes allows me to grab twice. So perhaps I have some other more like accurate move. I'm just gonna stick with simple positional chess. Don't have a lot of time on the clock, so hoping this will be enough. Has to go pawn takes and taking there with queen g5. I felt that's what the doctor ordered. Alex Panzea, what doctor are you talking about? You don't need to know. You don't need to know answer to every question. Okay, can I just take queen b4? Okay, so I'm gonna inflict him double isolated pawn since I promised. This is just gonna be a huge source of weakness in the long run. And now I'm attacking pawn and I'm attacking discovery. So I have these pieces. His knight tries to defend against the discovery, which is what I was expecting, but it's giving me free pawn that I think we grab. Maybe there is better move. Could be better move that I'm missing. I'll play it simple though. Queen e5. So extra pawn. Bishop is pinned. Much better position. I think we can call that the opening was a success. Okay, this is a bit too loose in my opinion. He had to try to keep it together somehow, but how do I punish? I feel like he needs to play b3 move to secure the bishop. Okay, I have this at the very least, and b3, bishop takes. Bishop c6, he can grab. Bishop d5, same b3. Okay, how about this? Bishop c6 grabs g5. I try to get rid of the knight. Knight d3, I go in, queen g3. Okay, maybe we play that way. Looks fun. Maybe not the best, but looks very fun. That's how we play it. We go for fun chess. Okay. Famous last words. We go for fun chess. Should play knight e2. I underestimated this move. I just looked at knight d3 with a tempo and it felt like once he allows me to enter, should be GG, but of course he finds best move. Okay, I was looking bishop d5. Also, rook is almost trapped. I have a minute on the clock. So rook goes there. Huh. Can I play knight g3? Goes 94. I don't make a frat. Oh, I think I have just this. So watch. Queen b8, rook a6, and I was missing retreating move. Yes, I knew some problem with the rook should be happening. Just rook stuck in my half. We're just having a blind spot. Yeah, knight c5 should actually keep it pretty clean, and hopefully I'm gonna be in time to convert. Maybe rook a7, rook e7, and not obvious. How we finish it, but maybe knight g3, knight f5 in that position. Yes, that's what I like. Knight g3. He cannot trade because my queen becomes too powerful. Okay, hopefully that's gonna be enough. Otherwise, I don't have lots of time on the clock. Rook e7, I want that, and in case of rook a6, I have knight c5. This was my plan. Rook running out of squares, and also he still has problem with the pin. Queen b1, but now maybe this is what he missed. So getting activation before collecting. Okay, queen a2. I can collect and infiltrate on the second rank. Knight is frozen. Rook is untouchable. It's funny, if rook f1 I actually have queen g3 maybe. If that's something you find funny. Okay, maybe not. Rook d8. Trying to infiltrate. Any knight d4 I have queen g3. So knight cannot move because it allows this move. Rook f1 maybe same queen g3 works. I have at least perpetual, hopefully more. Rook f1, you know I'm playing queen g3. You know I'm sacrificing there. Oh, yes. 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 Somebody's gonna meet as the windmill. You love it when they do. Oh, I have even better. I have rook d2 takes mate. I don't even need to take his queen. Oh, I just grabbed my pants. Should we go for it? Yes, I'm just double checking, but this is just mate. See, g5. G5 won us the game. So pretty. It's simple rook g2, rook b2, pick up queen, but this is even nicer. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. This is why we play Catalan Scandi. And this is why we like to record these casual videos. Because we get to have fun. And experiment with different openings. Against relatively decent players. I'm just gonna put it that way. Righty. Come on, opponent. Bro, he's trying to confuse me. He's trying to bamboozle me with the bishi. You're not gonna bamboozle me with the bishi. Look, there are ways to bamboozle me in this life. I'm not perfect, but with a free bish, that douchebaggery will be not working. Can even pre-move it? Maybe not. Yeah. Okay, let's go. All right, that's pretty nice. Was this accurate conversion of that insanely winning position that I got out of the opening? Probably not, but did it get the job done? You bet it did. Thank you guys for making it all the way this far into the video. I just wanted to let you know that I've recorded plenty of videos that are gonna come in the future on the channel. It's just that it's been taking quite a bit of time with the packaging, coming up with title, making the thumbnails and intros. So in the meantime, I just wanted to record something a little bit more casual, a bit easier to make, so that I still get to chat with you and do a video. So yeah, I do plan to make one video like this at least weekly. And just for those of you wondering, we've been making quite a bit of progress recently with my upcoming website. So things are moving upwards on a positive trend. So here again, thanks everybody for all the support, and I will see you around on the channel. Have a good one.